Yeah, just really quickly for me, it's just about selflessness. I think this game, you can throw this out. It doesn't reflect the kind of plays that we think determine the game. And it's the screen that led to the open shot. It's the seal that forced a rotation that got us an open three. It's the offensive out-of-area rebound. Gianna got a couple of those that really put us in positions to get three-point shots for Char. The list goes on, and that's what I want to celebrate. I thought Lauren Betts was spectacular in that. She led us in passion plays, and she did it in 22, I think, minutes or 24 minutes of play. I thought she did all the little things. I thought her poise in the double and triple team was so good. Every time she made a great read out of that, somebody else on our team benefited. Bottom line is we made winning plays, and that's against a very good Maryland team. I have so much respect. I think I shared with some of you in media the other day how much respect I have for Brenda and the sustained excellence and the way in which her teams play year in and year out. And so that makes us celebrate the way we won, because we respect the way they play. And so just really proud. That's what we have to protect. We got to protect a selfless mindset, a growth mindset, and a constant desire to improve and get better.
For Charlisse, while you were out, Coach still praised you, for your leadership and the way you were still able to impact the team, whether it was practices, in the huddles, on timeouts. Just kind of, how do you feel like your leadership has grown with this group?
I think, when you're talking about being out last year, and I think Coach Cori talks about it a lot, but there are so many different ways that you can impact a team and impact your teammates. And one of the things for me coming into this program was being really intentional about how can I use my experience that I have as, a veteran player who is still a transfer, but not letting that deter how much I can impact the team. And so a lot of that, leadership off the court was because I came in with that mindset, and the coaches do a really good job of enabling you to do that and putting you in positions to do that. So I think just being able to really make connections, have relationships with my teammates, building that trust off the court has translated onto the court tenfold. And, being a point guard, you have to have that trust, you have to have that connection. And so I think just over time, feeling confident and being able to hold people accountable, being able to have those conversations, I think that's where I've had to take a step in my leadership and, not always just sit back and let other people be vocal leaders, but really step up in those moments when I need to.
Charlisse, can you walk us through the behind the back pass?
I think me and Gabs have a really great connection. We've worked on that a lot throughout the season, and I just know she's such an amazing off-ball cutter. She's just a boss on the offensive end, and so when I'm in there and playing off 2 feet, I just saw her cut from, the weak side corner, and we kind of had a split second when we made eye contact, and 2 people came to me, and I just thought, here we go. Here we go. And it got there, so it was great. It's either like a really great play or a really bad play if it doesn't work out. So I'm glad it worked out.
One for Gianna, one for Charlisse. For Gianna, I feel like it counted 6 times in the first half you were on the ground sprawling for a loose ball. Can you talk about those effort plays? And then for Charlisse, do you learn, I know you probably want to be out there Friday during practice, you're under the weather, but do you learn anything from just sitting and observing and watching, and how did that impact today's game?
Put a whole year for it.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think in this program, we're kind of built, and our foundation is on effort plays and getting the extra possession. Because when, 2 great teams are competing, it's those plays that make you take that lead or make you get that extra rebound when, maybe you miss a few shots. So I think just focusing on that, and you can always control that. It's not something that is like if you're making or missing shots, it's controllable. So.
Can you repeat your question one more time for me?
Yeah, sure. When you were under the weather on Friday and sitting and watching practice, I'm sure you would be all practicing, but do you learn anything from like just sitting and watching and observing instead of being out there? How did that impact today's game potentially?
Yeah, I think I had a lot of practice at it last year, so I knew, coming in, it doesn't matter if you're sick or if you're even just, in and out of reps. Every rep is you have to be thinking the game through, and especially in scout days, when we're going through plays, when we're talking about what actions we want to defend, how we want to attack them, you have to be locked in no matter what. And so I think you're always learning something on the sideline, and that's kind of the mindset that I have and this whole team has. So for sure, you still get a lot of, benefit out of just watching, being there, being present, staying locked in.
Charlisse, you guys have won 11 in a row now, and you're doing it by a pretty whopping margin. How do you fight that urge to maybe not take a night off, not take a quarter off, when you are dominating so thoroughly?
Yeah, I think, it's something we talk about every day. When you are a part of such a great team, it can be easy to be complacent, and it can be easy to come in and not fight for every possession, not fight for your stance on defense when you're just going through the motions. And that's something that our coaches do a really good job of holding the standard in that way. And also my teammates, we're a veteran group. We have a lot of experience, a lot of leadership. And when we feel like things are starting to slip in training, we have, 1 through 5 people ready to step up and say something about it. Maybe sometimes we need a little help from the coaches in that area too, but I think we know what it takes, and we know that every possession that we have now, we're not just preparing for the game ahead, but we're preparing for the end of March. We're preparing for the next top 25 team we have to play, and that's just the mindset that you have to have a balance in. You can't think too far ahead. You have to focus on that play that you have, but at the same time, at the back of your mind, you always know that we have our own standard that we're continually playing to, and we can't let anyone come into our gym or any opposing team change that. We have that standard for ourselves.
Gianna, I think for me it was the play where you missed the layup, and then Amanda was about a half a step behind you. She just scooped it up and put it in, and I just thought at that moment, boy, the Bruins are in complete synchronization today, as well as putting together a full 40-minute game. Can you talk about how the chemistry that you guys had on the court today, and if you feel like you've taken any steps up since you played here at Poly 2 weeks ago, which seems like
Yeah, it does feel like a long time ago. But yeah, I think that's what we're striving for, is just playing super connected and together, because we're at our best when we're doing that. And it starts from the chemistry we have off the court. We love hanging out with each other. We love spending time together. So when you kind of build that trust off the court, it makes it super easy to play like that on the court.
For both of you both came from programs where you were asked to carry more of the load offensively, defensively. Now you're on a team where that's not necessarily the case, but you're still able to have these moments. I think at one point in the first half, Gianna, you kind of just walked up and realized that you had 2 seconds of space from your defender to be able to launch a 3 and nail it. What does that speak just to the depth of your team, that you're able to have a night where you don't have to carry the load so much, and other nights where the other team allows you to be the focal point more or less?
Yeah, I think that is part of the reason, at least I know I came here. I just wanted to be on a team where it was really hard for teams to scout us, because you can choose someone to try and take away, but there's 4 to 6 other people that you're going to have to worry about. So I think that is really like a hard thing for teams to figure out, because it is truly pick your poison. So it's been super fun. Like, it kind of takes almost like pressure off, because you don't feel like you need to shoot 100% to win a game. So yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, I think just like Gianna said, when you're out there playing with so many talented people, you can play really fun basketball. You have the pick of the lottery of who you can get the ball to in any given situation. And what's been really fun is seeing how teams come out and scheme against us, and how we can adjust in game and look at different options. Because, if they want to have a lot of attention on Lauren, which most teams will, she does so much, and she's so great in creating catches and creating skip passes for our shooters. Or if they aren't doubling her, she is going to dominate any player that guards her. So it's just been a really fun thing to keep working on and figuring out game to game how people are playing us. And we just have so many great players.
Gianna, you spoke about the chemistry that you're developing with the team. I want to ask both of you, did you get an opportunity to do a pregame dance? And if you did it, what are we doing postgame instead?
Ooh. I like it.
There were some people hitting some swaggy moves in there. I did not participate today. You know, you got to take your turns.
Oh, I mean, YOLO, you only live once. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, but we have such a great time together, and we find ways to get hype, and then we love hanging out with each other, so we'll probably get dinner for Mandy's birthday tonight. Happy birthday, Mandy. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, Mandy. I just want to let you guys know Gianna's getting really good at her dancing coming up. And we're not going to do a post-game dance, but there's a video coming out of her next dance, so just be ready for that.
Yeah, check out Charlisse Ledger-Walker on Instagram and YouTube. Shameless plug.
I do have a YouTube channel. Yeah, check it out.
It's really tremendous. So she just learned to trash talk, and that video came out, and it's pretty entertaining.
Yes, subscribe.
Charlisse, were you, I mean, not rebound side, I mean, you were kind of pushing up against a triple-double. I mean, as a point guard, for you to be kind of just grabbing that many boards, and I think you were leading the team early on, and it's kind of, what goes into that aspect of your game?
Yeah, I think that was one of our focal points coming into the game. It was a part of our game plan that the guards were going to have to do a lot more of the offense or of rebounding, just because of who they had and how they like to crash some of their guards. So we had to be really locked into that. And again, our posts do a great job of finding their players and hitting them and, you know, creating space. So I think for me, especially I was less of the safety person today, and I was picking up the ball a lot more, so that allows me to crash a little bit more in these games. And so I just kind of came in with that mindset, knowing that I would have the option to do that a bit more, and got some rebounds.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you,
Go
guys.
Bruins. Thank you.
What was yours? Oh. I know.
You're going to be the more experienced team most times when you come on the court,
Yeah.
especially so against this Maryland team. I'm just wondering how you hope that manifests itself, like what you saw on the court, just in terms of that.
Well, I think it's all the little plays, the little adjustments, the little reads that come with experience and come with the kind of maturity that we have across the board. I've done some things the last couple of weeks just in game that we have never worked on a box and one. And at Minnesota, I just threw it in. They were like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, "But I know what their knowledge is." And it was a short clock situation. I knew what they were going towards. But I think that it just speaks to my confidence in their ability to read and see the game. And so I want to empower them that we can do that. We can make those kind of adjustments because of their balance of, they obviously have a lot of physical skills and talents, but their mental knowledge of the game is really what allows us to do that.
Coach, you were obviously looking for intensity during the practice.
Yeah.
And it seems like early on in the game you were looking for that more from them as well.
Yeah, we didn't start out very well. We didn't defend the three-point line the way that we needed to. They're a difficult, guard for us in some ways because on the one hand, we wanted Lauren. They usually had a non-shooting post in that Lauren or our five players could really be a great help defender. But then you had to recognize when they went in ball screen for a shooter because now you needed to step up and close that space, and we just weren't making very good decisions on that. And we actually really got on them. I mean, we had I think 8 turnovers at half, or maybe even, I think, 10 turnovers at half, which I was not happy about. And then on top of that, we still scored 47 points. And I'm like, that just shows you that how far below your potential you're playing when you turn the ball over that much and you still get 47 points. But what we allowed them to do, we decided we were going to take away certain things. And we didn't do that in the first half. And I think that's what you hear them saying. That is my greatest job with this team, is that even when the score doesn't say it, it's my job to hold it. And, I think that we played much better, especially in that third quarter defensively. And I thought we communicated better. I thought we made more tactical, purposeful decisions on our switches. But, like you said, we still have lapses. And we always tell our team, March is happening now. And the habits, the intensity, the focus for extended, sustained time, that's what we have to keep grabbing, a few more possessions of consistency every single day.
To have, like, they talked about sort of just the well-roundedness of the team. To have Amanda Muse come in late
Yeah.
in the game and immediately make an impact, get blocks, what is that like having?
Yeah. Well, today's Amanda's birthday as well, so we loved watching that. But Amanda, the reality is you guys have no idea, I mean, I guess the ones that come to practice, how much Amanda Muse is improving every day. And it doesn't always get rewarded in game minutes, but it doesn't make it any less valuable to her and our team. And if we actually have a tradition that we're starting this hot seat where we tell people what their impact is on the team, and she was on the hot seat today at shoot around, and Tasha said something that was really impressive. But she goes, "You are going to affect whatever group you are a part of for the rest of your life, whether it's in business, whether it's in science, whether it's in an athletic team, because your growth mindset, the way that she works and the way that she grows, even when she doesn't see the rewards," she said, "I'm just going to tell you, you will be rewarded if you stay the course." And we just really respect that, and you got to see a little bit of a glimpse of that from Amanda today. But Amanda's a really good player, and she is really doing the work to continue to improve. She just has some people with some more experience ahead of her, but it doesn't make her growth and value to our team any less.
Coach, 2 questions for you. First off, just kind of just a short question, but it looked like Lena was racing sort of back race today. What's
No, Lena was just under the weather today, and so I thought was going to maybe try, but she just was not feeling well today. So it just, obviously, when we got the game and the rhythm that we got it in, it just wasn't worth it to put her out there. But that was the only thing.
And secondly, Charlisse, you talked about her as the pulse of this team. There was a moment where I think you took her out for a moment, and then there was an off-ball foul, and then someone threw the ball out of bounds, and you brought her right back in, and she stabilized the team. Can you talk a bit about, again, just kind of how she brings the pulse of the team down so that everyone can relax a little more?
Yeah. Well, I think I have the privilege of having 2 great lead guards. I mean, Kiki Rice has had her games when she was a real stabilizer. I thought on our last road trip, I thought that Kiki was the one who did that. But that's what I love, is that they play off of each other so well, and they don't care who it is that night. And so I think Charlisse's knowledge of the game, I mean, just listen to her, right? I mean, and you guys have heard me say this, there are several times where I say, "Hey, what do you think?" And because she has such a good pulse. And I want our players, this is not about us making the perfect calls. This is about empowering and equipping our team to be really self-sufficient and player-led. And I think Charlisse is just spectacular at that. And so I think that, and people have it's so interesting to me. I've been asked a lot about sort of her defense and quickness and different things. I said, just watch her. Watch her rotate. Watch her talk. Watch her... number 7 on their team, I don't want to mess up her name, so I'm not going to even say it, but she is one of the fastest people in the country. And Charlisse 3 times in a row got over the screen, cut her off, over the screen, cut her off. And I just think that speaks to her work ethic, but also her knowledge of angles and how to anticipate. And she doesn't react, she anticipates. And I think it's what makes her really special.
I wanted to ask you about the Sienna Miss 3 and the actions from that. I didn't know that was a part of her game.
Me neither. No, I'm teasing. I do. It is actually a part of Sienna's game, and it will be as she grows a bigger part of her game. We have she was definitely. I've been giving her a hard time because she's shooting. We keep track of every shot you take in practice, every shot, all the time. And she's shooting not a very high percentage of that. And so I told her, you're not going to have the freedom. You better shoot it. You better be wide open, and you better make it. And well, she showed me. I think the reality is what Sienna is going to become is she's elite. She's elite in how she passes the ball from there, her knowledge of where people are going to be on the floor. Her 3 has really come recently. Her high school coaches were here today, and they coached Michaela Onyenwede, they coached obviously Lauren and Sienna, and I'm excited to hear Josh's sort of response to that. that. But I think she's really worked hard to expand her toolbox, and I think she does a great job of that. But I think that, I want her to earn some more consistency, and I'm going to put a lot of pressure on her until those percentages go up. It's not like I'm giving her the green light. I always say you're going to get as much freedom as you're willing to earn. And she is such a hard worker, and she wants to be great so bad, and she's catching up a little bit for the 10 weeks that she sort of missed. But she is going to be a dominant player in this country and in this program moving forward. And I'm sure there'll be many other threes and many other points to me coming up.
Obviously, you guys made the Final Four last year. You have the goal of doing it again and maybe making it to national championship this year. In what ways is this team better right now at this point in the season than, let's say, last year's team?
Yeah, I think there's a few ways, but I think, what you see as the additions from Charlisse and Gianna are really, you can start with that. It's changed on sort of how we can put some of the different pieces into place. I think that, Gianna creates different spacing on the floor. Charlisse allows Kiki to play some off the ball more and to be sort of a more attacking mindset. And so I think it's what you're trying to do is you're trying to create the most complete puzzle that complements each other, that fits together. And I think this team I loved last year's team, did things that no other UCLA team has done. So I want to give them their flowers. But if you ask me about what's different about this year, I think our pieces just fit a little bit more together, and we have a little bit more of a complete puzzle.
You win games by like 30 points.
Mm.
Obviously, it's a good thing. You mentioned sort of like not coaching to score, but how do you do that? You said before the season that you talked to Dawn about like it being hard to find non-conference opponents. Like,
Yeah.
can you just talk about this?
I know. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I really, the assistant coach for South Carolina is my coaching son, as I call him. He used to work with us. He was at USC before, and he comes and spends Christmas with me every day. And my poor mom over there, every morning we would get up and we would just talk basketball for like 3 hours. And but I actually have asked that, like, how does Dawn handle that in real time? What can I learn? And I want to continue to grow for the sake of these players, just like I expect them to. But honestly, I think I had to really I sort of have had to distance myself a little bit. I'm a very relational coach, and I will hopefully never lose that. That will always be my priority. But what this team needs from me the most is to be willing to always say the hard things and to be willing to hold the standard whenever they either don't like it or are annoyed by me or fill in the blanks. I just feel like that probably is my largest responsibility this year. And so if I care about the team and serving the team first, then I'm going to do that no matter how it feels every day. But honestly, it's exhausting. Like, I have to sort of just get myself ready, like every little thing, I'm just on them. But I know that I can do that and do that consistently because I know what they really want. And they don't. I asked them one time in a huddle, I go, "Do you want the bar lowered?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Then play up to it. Then execute the scout." And so I just think that's my job. It's every game. Mm-hmm.
What are you going to try to hone and perfect? You mentioned like high turnovers in the first half,
Yeah.
a little bit of a slow start. Are there any other components that you're going to try to perfect coming into this game?
Yeah, I think two of the most urgent things we need to fix is our turnover margin, our turnover percentage on possessions. And I think the second one is we're just allowing too many three-point attempts. And so I think those are two things that we really have got to focus on. I think I've shared with you, every week we're looking at where are we in terms of our offensive efficiency and our defensive, consistency against the very best. And we actually went down a notch last week in terms of our defense. We're 6th in the country right now. We're still number 1 offensively by a small margin. But I just think it's those are the two things that are most glaring right now that we need to address. I'm excited for Wednesday. I'm excited to honor you. You all know how much Coach Wooden, changed my life, and to have a chance for sort of the throwback and to honor his connection to Purdue and to be able to do that, I think it's going to be a special time. But I was starting my scouting for for them. And I watched their win against Washington. I just think they're a good team, and everybody in the Big Ten is a really good team. And I encourage, the LA area, don't miss out on seeing great basketball night in and night out. Come out and support this group of women, but also just enjoy great. The Big Ten women's basketball is the #1 conference in the country, top to bottom. And I hope people will understand how special this is and come out and support.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Coach, 2 questions. First, we heard what was going through Charlisse's mind when she made that behind the back pass. What's going through your mind when you see her do that?
Well, that's probably my favorite thing about Charlisse's game, besides her defensive ability to keep people in front, is her vision. I think it's her elite skill. And so when she said, I always tell our point guards, if you will have a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, you go for it. And you'll have a turnover once in a while, but I want them to play free. They've earned that. And I said, as long as you stay 3-to-1 or better, then have fun with it. So I just enjoyed it. I was like, the crowd's getting to see what I get to see every day. And I want her to feel empowered, and she's earned that. Like I said with Sienna, you're going to you have the freedom you're willing to earn. Charlisse has earned that freedom.
Second, Lauren only played 21 minutes today. Was there a deliberate decision on that?
No.
Anything in particular?
No, I think, one of the commitments I made to Lauren that I really hoped we could do is Lauren carried way too big of a load last year. And the way Lauren has to play, the way people play her off the ball, I mean, she just gets body blocked like all the time. And I go back and when I watch the film, I'm like, wow, what she has to go through to even create a catch is like very few in the country. And so I told her I wanted to be able to focus on efficiency with her and to be able to protect her minutes wherever I could. And we all know what she means to our team. We all know what she's going to have. But I thought it was, as long as we could maintain and continue to play hard, I wanted to give those minutes. I wanted to get Sienna as many minutes as possible. I also thought Ange really made a great turn from the first half to the second half, and I wanted her to feel that momentum. And it's just an opportunity for me to actually give Lauren some rest. And so as long as we can continue to grow in those other areas, Lauren does not care about the individual side. She has already earned her credibility. I mean, people know what she's going to do. So my job is to protect her sometimes, and this was an opportunity for me not only to protect her, but to allow some other players to get growth minutes.
Cori, Tuesday night, the men are going to give out a wooden bobblehead. I'm wondering, have you seen it? How does it, what do you think of its likeness compared to the real guy?
I actually only saw it on social media, but I'm always a proponent for anyone who always keeps his memory alive about we all walk in the path that he blazed for us. I love that our bench is on this side and that we have to walk down that hallway with all of his banners and his pyramid of success in the background. And I get to remember my time with him every single time I walk down that hallway. And so I don't really care. It's probably fun, whatever else. I just want people to show up and to have fun with it, and let's honor Coach Wooden at every turn.
Are you going to get one?
I hope so, but I don't know. That's a good question. I should get one, huh? That's it. I'll take it. There you go. So.
Matt Painter said he wants one.
Well, there you go. I'll tell you, Matt Painter, he's a great guy. I was actually on an NCAA committee with him, and I happened to watch some of their game, and wow, they're really good.
Coach, on the broadcast, I think it was mentioned that Kiki had the opportunity to shadow the Los Angeles Rams. Were you involved with that, and what's the story?
I was, yeah. I've had the opportunity to do a couple speaking things and get to know Sean McVay and his chief of staff Carter, who've been amazing. And Kiki would like to be a GM someday and work in a front office of a professional sports organization. And so I called Sean and Carter and said, hey, would you allow her this experience? And they went above and beyond. Not only did she get to spend the whole day with them and meet everyone, then they invited Charlisse and Gabs and Kiki to go down, and they were on the field, and they were in the suite, and they got to watch a game. And I just am so grateful, that they would extend themselves in that way for the sake of Kiki's experience and growth. And just really, I've learned a lot from him, and I'm just appreciative of that he would pour into the people I care about so much. I don't know. Is there a game started right now, right? there you go. So, anyone else? Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.